Hi everyone. So I was trying to do this live on Facebook, but technical difficulties, Mercury retrograde, all that fun stuff. So today is about bringing your true self to work. And does that sound like a great idea? Does that sound like a terrifying idea? Is that something you even want? You might not want to. You might want to, like, work might be a place where you just go, clock in, do your job, get paid, get out. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, but if you do want more out of your time that you spend 8 hours a day on this planet, then this might be useful. So, years ago, at this point, I was at a company where actually a lot of people would work there for maybe 3, 4 years, build their resume, then move on to another, like whatever else they were trying to do. We were a call center in the insurance industry, and but we attracted a lot of people, either people who were just out of college, hadn't figured out what they wanted to do yet, also people who were like trying to make their way up in a creative field and needed a day job. We had some flexible, it was a 24-hour call center, so people could work anytime. I mean, like within like what they were hired for, but it definitely had like capabilities that people could work around other things that they were doing. So we attracted a lot of people who were in transition one way or another. So what would happen is that, and of course, and there were people who actually wanted to do this for a living and make a career there, and that was fine too. So while I was there were several people who we'd get into like the ranting and raving that you you do at work. I don't know, and people would express their desire to leave the company, do something else, and I'd always ask them and be like, okay, like by when? When are you going to leave? And the funny thing that happened that I noticed that every person who would give me a date as to when they wanted to leave, they would actually be either promoted or find another job anyway out of there into a more positive situation, always like by the date that they gave me. So, and that actually may seem like I might have been like doing something against the company. I wasn't, because nobody wants, like, you don't really want to have disengaged people. It doesn't work well for either side when people are disengaged at work. It's better if they do find the way out and then that person can go do what they want. You can get someone in that position who is going to be more engaged, someone who might be more in line with what the company is doing. So that's kind of what I have to say on that level. But that's the question that I have. Where are you at right now? Are you in a position where you feel like you are able to bring yourself to work in the way that you want to? Probably, yeah, you may not, as I said before, may not be wanting to bring your entire self, but are you bringing the parts you want to be bringing? Are you bringing your talents that you're proud of? Are you bringing what you want to be known for in the world? Is that happening? Do you feel pretty good at the end of the day? Are you being respected where you're at? Are you compensated fairly? Are your ideas valued? Are your contributions valued? These are all questions. These are all questions to ask yourself. And there are no right answers, there's no wrong answers. But right now, just take a look at where you're at right now in terms of any of those aspects. And let's really just take a few deep breaths right now. Just breathe in and breathe out. Feel kind of your body, close your eyes. Feel what's going on inside of there. Take another deep breath. And as you continue to breathe, really allow any sensations to come up in your body, any kind of messages, any images, any words or sounds that might be arising from inside of you as you take a few more deep breaths. And maybe there is one image that pops up more than everything else that has a message for you, something coming up from some deep place inside of you, and a message that is waiting to be heard right now. And if you can bring that into focus, really think about what that message is, what that might be trying to tell you. And once you see what it is, just take a moment, maybe write it down, maybe just try to remember it. And then I want you to ask yourself another question. So let's say that you woke up tomorrow morning and the entire monetary system no longer exists. Corporate America doesn't exist. You're in a situation where you wake up tomorrow morning and basically anything you need is just going to appear in front of you just by you asking for it. Just like, look, I would like a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee appears in front of you, and anything that you need just appears. So go into that frame of mind and consider, if you're there, you're probably going to spend some time like sipping margaritas on a beach, traveling the world, doing some things that you've always wanted to do, taking care of things that need to be taken care of that you haven't been able to take care of. But after you've done all of that, after you've done everything you need to do, and then done everything you wanted to do, what then? What will you do then? Who will you be? What will you have? What will your life look like? What would it feel like? How will you be dealing with other people? Those questions are questions that speak to your heart's desire. So take a moment and really feel into what those would be, what those answers would be if nothing was necessary and you could do everything, whatever you want. Then what would you do? What would it look like? So take a moment and maybe write those things down as well. And now, here's the third question. So, looking at the two things that you wrote down, which is a message that your body was giving you, that your inner being was giving you about whatever you need to look at right now for your life. And then the other message, which was about what your real heart's desire is, what you would do if money and time and relationships were no object. What would you do? Then, so take a look at those two items, and what I want you to do now is think about what are 1 to 3 actions that you can take starting today, like every day, every work day, to really make that dream you have, that desire, that intention, just one step closer to reality. For me, I wanted, I think the last time, and even if it's something that is really small or seems like it doesn't make a difference or isn't important, I would do it anyway, because if it came up within you, it is important to some part of you. For me, I am into fashion. I'm into expressing myself through my clothes. And when I did this, one of the things that came up was like, I would like to just be able to wear more fun things like Indian clothes and other things to work. So my step, I was like, let me just order a couple of these from eBay. We'll do that. And so, and I didn't even necessarily think about even wearing them to work. It was just going to be when I was at home. But like some of these outfits actually work well for some of the more woo-woo things that I do, like when I'm teaching manifestation classes, doing readings, performing, or even shooting these videos. Definitely not for selling houses. I can't do it for that, but it was a tiny step that I took that like allowed me to bring a piece of myself to the table that wasn't being seen and heard and acknowledged before. So even something as little as that can make a difference. Maybe you want to take more of a leadership role. Maybe you want to be more respected. Maybe you want to have your ideas be heard and listened to. And maybe there's something that you can do within your current role where you can initiate, you can make changes, make positive changes in the way that your company works, or the way that your job is going. So that kind of thing. So yeah, write down those 1 to 3 items. Now, I'm teaching a class in a couple weeks. It's gonna be Friday, February 11th, called Creative Brainstorming for Entrepreneurs. This is designed for unlocking your creative imagination. And what I did with these meditations is like kind of like a maybe like a small opening, but there's a lot more available that can be unlocked as far as your own capability to know yourself, know what you desire, and know how to bring it out in the universe, in the world, in the real like 3D Earth world. I don't know if you can hear my cat running around, but she's going crazy right now. I don't know why. But anyway, so yeah, this class is geared towards unlocking your creative imagination. I'm going to put the link in a comment here if it's something that you're interested in. And because it makes a difference to be able to even know what you want. And we are not really socialized to think about what our soul's purpose is, what we want to be doing, how you want to spend your 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years on this planet. But when you do have access to your creative imagination, when you are around other people who are like-minded, who are doing the same thing, the world really opens up. Things fall into place. You make connections. You learn things. You might get a tip that might just change the course of your work and your life. So Friday, February 11th, it's going to be 10 a.m. to 12 noon. If that's not a good time, let me know. I may do it again if I get enough interest. So hope you're doing well and that you are manifesting everything you ever hoped for. Have a good night.